Hello, and welcome to another day of walking with Jesus. As we continue to look at Luke chapter 18, verses 1 to 8, we're going to go back into that passage for a second day. Yesterday, as we looked at the passage, we were reminded that we should not give up. We should always turn to God in open-hearted communication with Him and prayer before Him so that we are trusting Him and we're in that conversation with Him on a regular basis. Today we're going to go back into this parable and we're going to look at it one more time, and we'll draw another point out of this parable. Certainly the parable is about prayer, and certainly the parable is about not giving up in prayer. That's what the opening is. That's what Luke tells you it's about. But let's look at a couple of other things. So Luke 18, 1 to 8, once again says, "And he told them a parable to the effect that they ought always to pray and not lose heart. He said, in a certain city there was a judge who neither feared God nor respected man. And there was a widow in that city who kept coming to him and saying, 'Give me justice against my adversary.' For a while he refused. But afterward he said to himself, 'Though I neither fear God nor respect man, yet because this widow keeps bothering me, I will give her justice so that she will not beat me down by her continual coming.' And the Lord said, 'Hear what the unrighteous judge says. And will not God give justice to his elect, who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth?'" So as we look at this for the second time, obviously the main point of the message is, as Luke said, to always pray and not lose heart. But I did want to pause here for a moment and just say, God is not like the unjust judge. God is not encouraging us to pray beseechingly and coming to Him continually so that we wear Him down and He finally gives in to what we request. That's not the point of this. He's not like this judge, but He does want us to stay continually turned in conversation toward Him. He wants us to live our lives oriented towards Him and towards communion and conversation with Him. That's part of the pray without ceasing ideas, that we live with a constant awareness that no matter what we're doing, no matter where we go, no matter what's happening, God is our partner. He's walking with us in this, and we can talk to Him about everything that's going on. And so we need to be turned towards Him continually. So let's drop down to verse 6 now, because it's not that we're going to wear God out by our persistency. We certainly can't do that. We're not going to wear God out. God is bigger, stronger, has more patience, more perseverance than we do. If we think that's what's happening, we need to rethink. And so I want us to go to verse 6, and I want us to see, and the Lord said, Jesus said, the Lord said, "Hear what the unrighteous judge says." And the unrighteous judge says, "Man, I'm tired of this widow coming and bothering me. I guess it'd be easier for me to give her justice than it would be for me to keep saying no to her." And so he gives her justice. She wore him down. That's what the unrighteous judge says. Verse 7, though, takes a turn. "And will not God give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night?" Will not God give justice? The righteous judge, the righteous God, the faithful and true God, will he not give justice to his elect who cry to him day and night? Now notice, this is not about health and healing. This is not about wealth and welfare. This is not about material blessings. This is about justice. And will not God give justice to his elect, do what is right to his elect who cry to him day and night? Will he delay long over them? Will he be like the unjust judge? And verse 8 says, no, I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. So when we call upon the Lord, God's righteousness and justice come to us quickly. He hears our cries and our prayers. I wonder, though, if we're not oftentimes wrapped up in the things that we want instead of the things that are right, the things that God would truly want to bless us with and be pleased to bless us with. And so I think, that sometimes in our praying, we may be praying for the wrong things. We may be praying for our will and for what we want instead of submitting our will to his, as we were taught in the Lord's Prayer, the disciples' prayer. And so in verse 8, I tell you, he will give justice to them speedily. Nevertheless, when the Son of Man comes, will he find faith on earth? That is just a powerful question that ends this parable and then leads us into another parable. Will the Son of Man, when he comes, find faith on earth? Faith. God-centered, obedient action. Our faces turned in communion with God, our faces turned desiring God and his will and his word and his work in our life. Will we be striving to accomplish his will? When the Son of Man returns, will we be praying about the things that God cares about? Will we be doing the things that God wills that we should do? Will we be faithful to him, continually calling upon him for strength and power to do his will, to accomplish his purposes here on earth? That's a question that I think we should wrestle with. That's a question Jesus asked the disciples as he's teaching them the value and the power of prayer, the faithfulness of our God to enact justice for those who call upon him night and day. The question is, are we going to orient our lives so that when the Lord returns, when the Son of Man, the Lord returns, we are about his business. We are in submission to his will, doing what he's called us to do. So that's, I suppose, the question I want to leave you with today. Let me put it this way. When the Son of Man returns, if he returns today, if he returns tomorrow, if he returns 10 years from now, if he returns 15, 20, 30 years from now, will he find you walking in faith, oriented towards God, seeking his will, and being obedient to him? As you walk with Jesus today, may you pursue that question. And I pray that the answer will be yes. Yes, I will, by the grace of God, walk in faithfulness before him.